Most of the cases, robots don't work in isolation. So that means, so they are part of a big system. They may be part of a system of machines, or they may run in conjunction with human supervisors and operators. Okay, suppose if robots are used in manufacturing, so they are used for material handling, like pick and place robots. Okay, or even for performing operations like welding. Okay, robots are used, so they are part of a system. Next, they may be running in conjunction with human supervisors, like a robot which is sent to Mars. Okay, where people in NASA, so they are sitting in their place and they are communicating with the robot. So they are the supervisors. Okay, and again, if you are using robot for application where human cannot enter, okay, then also human supervisors will sit in their place in their room, and they will watch the environment in which robot will navigate, and they will get information from of that particular location. Communication between machines and robot is necessary to achieve a common goal. Common goal means, so if you consider a robot which is sent to Mars, okay, common goal is to get better understanding of the environment of Mars. Okay, whether it is possible for human beings to survive in Mars. Okay, so those type of information, so they want to get. Okay, so even robots were designed to achieve that goal. Okay, so these goals are achieved using robots. So that's why both are having common purpose. Next, telerobotics. So telerobotics means, so in case of pick and place robot, okay, telerobotics is related to mobile robots, where robots will move. So they are not in the fixed location. Okay, they are called as telerobots, or the field is called as telerobotics. Telerobotics is the field of robotics where robots operate in dangerous or distant environments where humans may not reach. These robots extend the reach of human sensors. Again, if you, instead of sending a robot, if you want to send human being or astronauts to Mars, okay, so there's a possibility of losing life. Okay, always there's a risk of losing life. So because of you, again, you can achieve the same outcomes by sending the robot. Okay, robot will also do the same functions which can be done by a human being. Okay, so that's why these robots extend the reach of human sensors. So by considering the risk to some locations, you cannot send human beings. Whereas since you have the option of these robots, okay, you can extend your sensors. You are able to know what is happening in Mars or in any other location where human cannot go. Telerobotics combines teleoperation and telepresence. Teleoperation means the ability to control the robot from a distance. So that is known as teleoperation. And telepresence means the ability to see, hear, and otherwise sense the environment around the robot. Examples: Explorer robot on Mars, cleanup robots in nuclear power plants, Explorer robots in the mouth of a volcano. So these are some of the examples. Next, tethered robots. Okay, it is like wired robots. Okay, so in this type of robots, communication between man and robot is with the help of wires. So these are wired robots. The simplest form of a telerobot. So this tethered robot is the simplest form of telerobot, operates through a tether. Tether means it is nothing but wires. Which tether means, so which is simply a bundle of wires between the robot and its operator. Okay, even suppose if you are making use of pneumatic systems to operate a robot, so then you need to supply air to the robot. Then also that robot will become a tethered robot. Okay, since you need to supply air from the compressor. Okay, you need wires. Tether is more reliable and less expensive than remote control. Okay, in case of remote control, so you are going for wireless communication, whereas in case of tether, it is wired communication. The operator gives high-level commands to the robot through the tether. The robot interprets these commands and carries them out to the best of its abilities, using its internal programs to work out the details of the operation. Information comes back up the tether to the operator as well. So that means even operators get information from the robot. That means communication here in this case it is two-way, from operator to robot and also from robot to operator. The robot can send status and other information to the operator as well as video, audio or other forms of sensory information. So this is one example of tethered robot. Here you can see a wire. Okay, so you are giving signals with the help of this wire. So it is like you can, if you consider a robot where you are using switching circuit, where you are using switches. Okay, you are operating the motor, you are switching on and switching off a motor and you are navigating it. So that is also another example of tethered robots. The operator becomes part of the robot control system, a high-level supervisor keeping everything on track. Telerobotic control system consists of 3 levels. First level is basic control over individual motors and sensors. Second level is computer programs that organize the individual motors, coordinating them into coherent patterns of motion. The program layer is a middle manager, interpreting the high-level commands and keeping the low-level systems organized. So this is the second level, and in the highest level, so operator will be there. The human operator gives commands to program. That means he may edit the program according to the requirement. So he is the one who is going to write programs. Okay, in the middle, so programs. With the help of this program, so you are operating motors and sensors. Next, so other than having tethered, so you can go for wireless communication, that is remote control using technologies like RFID, okay, or Zigbee, Bluetooth, okay, even with Internet of Things, so using internet. Okay, so there are many ways in which you can control the robot using Wi-Fi. Okay, the next level of telepresence removes the tether, that means removes cables or wires and replaces it with light or radio waves like RFID technology. Okay, so